prepared for the size of that mouse cursor.
Mm-hmm. It's so big.
Okay. All right, it's been a week.
Yep.
I hope Evan's been okay spending a week in that cave.
Yes. Nancy yearns for the mine.
Yes, yes, she does.
So we've got to get her there. First, I think, like, they said we might want to talk to everyone else in the house before we go meet Jack and Nathan at the carriage house.
Okay.
I think... I can't imagine Nessa and Corvus are still around. But maybe. Other than that, I assume there's something going on with Albert.
Uh-huh, yeah.
He seems shady. We know now that the paper he wrote was, like, very poorly written.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's happened here? Did a cat bonk?
She did, yeah.
Albert's room is a mess. Clothes are hanging haphazardly in the wardrobe. The wastepaper basket is stuffed full of papers. All of his luggage is gone.
Oh. Flew the coop.
Yep. See a cigar butt in the upper left drawer. Cigar. It's pretty small. You should pick it up. Okay. Pick
up that butt.
Okay. Examine butt. I just want to hold on this screen for a bit so it can be a thumbnail.
Sure.
The coat of arms on the label of the cigar butt indicates that it's of Belgian make.
Ah.
The cigar appears to have some oily smudges. Catch a whiff of its aroma. I've smelled this type of cigar before, and not just in the lodge. Dust butt. I'm glad I tried that.
I mean, we already know.
Yeah.
Albert's fingerprint, but I guess it could have been someone else's print.
Okay, yeah. Examine waste basket. Go. Examine trash. You can see some crumpled papers in the waste paper basket. They don't appear to have anything written on them. There's a strip of telegraph tape lying just outside of the waste paper basket on the carpet floor. Pick up tape. Oh, see. Telegraph paper. Oh. Look at telegraph. Oops. Oh, telegraph. Tape reads as follows. Carl L. Proceed to Sue Locks with package. Deliver package by 3 a.m. Await further instructions. Well done in crimson. Well done in crimson? What could that mean? And who on earth is Carl L?
I'm curious where he got the telegraph from.
Yeah.
So.
Bad.
The only telegraph I'm aware of right now is the one at the train station.
Yeah. A large red cylinder seems to have rolled partially under the bed. Under bed. Looks... Alright, pick up cylinder. Uh-oh. I think this is a stick of dynamite. Yep, it's a stick of dynamite. Looking at it makes you sweat. Dynamite is not a standard piece of mineralogical equipment.
That's the real problem here. Not the danger it poses, just the unorthodox methods that
Okay.
Albert uses.
Yes, it's dynamite. Examining it more closely wouldn't make you feel any better. Quite the opposite, in fact. Let's see. Now, we have to blow up Nancy at least once.
That's
I
true.
feel like.
That has to be a way to.
Yeah. Jackets. So that's a train ticket stub.
Ah, okay.
Oh, take ticket. Trinket stub that Albert left in his jacket pocket. Stub is from Albert's journey up to Crimson.
Oh, okay.
But this is for a writing coach, the same as me and Kimmy. He said he was in the first class car.
Yeah.
Albert lied to us. I didn't see him in our car. Was he concealing himself? Come to think of it, I do remember the smell of cigar smoke.
Oh, okay. He must have been the one that took your kid as well.
Yeah, it smelled exactly like the cigar butt that Albert stubbed out into his desk drawer. Uh-oh. Looks like I've got my field kit up on the luggage rack. Do you see that old brown leather suitcase? So I see it. What does the field kit contain? Among other things, the field kit includes hardiness picks. These are the most important tools for all of my work in Crimson. They have tips of different hardnesses, ranging from 2 to 9 on the Mohs scale. The hardness pick with the number 9 tip is indispensable for this trip. We'll scratch about just about anything except for diamonds. I'm so glad I have these tools with me, otherwise I'd be up a creek without a paddle. Indeed. Good luck with your work in Crimson. Thanks. I can't wait to get started. Give me chat for a bit longer before dozing off into the afternoon. Someone behind us with a newspaper over their face. Yeah. Diamonds.
Oh, look at that sinister look.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
No, my
I'm just gonna
picks.
throw it off the tray.
Yes.
All right.
Wants to sabotage someone else.
Yeah.
Looking for diamonds, I guess. What a dick. It was Albert. He was in the train car after all. I remember the smell of those cigars, the ones he's been smoking in the lodge this whole time. And he got rid of my field kit to obstruct my investigation. Okay. Oh.
Chip says it's the most evil looking man.
He's very. It stands empty. Okay. was hoping we'd find the key to the chest he was using in the
Oh
other room.
yeah.
Okay.
Check under the pillow.
Oh, we should. Well, so examine.
Oh.
Can't do that.
It's such a heavy pillow.
Check under.
Oh.
Okay.
Maybe a painting.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, he's just saying it. All right, Albert stored some of his things in the blue trunk in the upstairs closet. I wonder if anything was left behind. Okay. All right, this is Nessa's room. Forget which. That's not it.
Yeah, I think it's
This one. Oh, big blue trunk's lid is up and the padlock hanging open. Wonder what was stored in here. Trunk. Lock is dangling open. There are some old threadbare linens hemming the interior and obscuring the trunk's bottom. But by methodically feeling around inside, you discover a bullet and a blasting cap.
Oh.
My father was in construction. I know a blasting cap when I see one. Why would Albert put these in here? Jack let Albert store his things in this trunk. He wanted to lock this all away. Seems how he demanded to stay in Jack's room, the only bedroom with a lock. Seems like Albert was concerned about keeping his secrets. And he's armed? Uh-oh. He's carrying dynamite with him. It was wise of him to store the dynamite and blasting caps separately. Seems to know more about demolition than mineralogy. Right, take...
Well, Nancy. Now Nancy has
Yeah.
both the dynamite and plastic cap.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
I don't have the key after all.
Yeah.
That isn't here, or you see no need for that.
Good idea taking the padlock.
Yeah. I figure it called it out, so it was
That's
something.
true, yeah.
Trunk. Okay. Let's see. Blast open.
There you go.
Can't use blast? What's the point
Oh
of
my
having
God.
a blasting cap? I should look at my new stuff. Oh, cigar butt. Oh, it's here.
There's only one left.
I'm getting the picture here. Or isn't who he says he is. I believe he's headed to the Sulaks to sabotage them with explosives. Found a bullet and blasting caps in the blue trunk. Albert is probably armed. He's fairly well acquainted with how to use explosives, seeing as how he knew to store his dynamite and blasting caps separately. This doesn't bode well. And I think he tossed my luggage out of the train to eliminate my field kit, so I couldn't interfere with his sham field work. He was in the train car with me and Kimmy. His train ticket stub proves that. And I do remember the smell of his particular brand of cigar. Head to the carriage house and tell Jack, Nathan, and Ranger Murdoch.
We still don't know what Ranger Murdoch's deal is.
Yeah. No expert on guns, but this is definitely a bullet of some kind. Very heavy, sturdy padlock. It's currently open. Okay. Really, it's the keyhole. Oh yeah, Nancy was a good kid. Likely Albert purchased these plastic caps in Canada. They tend not to get shipped overseas because they're fairly hazardous materials. Okay, yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff probably has fingerprints on it, so we can dust lasting cap. Fingerprint. I need to lift the fingerprint. Okay. Dust. Bullet. Okay. What was the other thing I could dust? Oh, the padlock. Yeah. Dust. Take fingerprint. Compare. You conclude Albert, of course. Also from Albert, of course. During our second dinner here, Mr. Richards inviting Albert to store his things in the blue trunk for safekeeping. Okay. Who is Carl L? Albert investigation completed. Okay. One other thing I was thinking of doing. It depends on if Nessa and Corpse are still around, I guess. But I was wondering if we could like look for the stuff that Margot stole.
hid, yeah.
Margot told me that Nessa's ruby brooch is hidden somewhere in here. Tore this room apart looking for it. It's still here. Okay. Let's see now. Close and pull off their hangers. Close. Pretty frocks hanging on the rod. Examine frocks. This is the latest styles. They're finally made very pretty. The ruby brooch hasn't pinned any of the dresses, nor is it in any of the pockets. Let's see. Shoes. All of Margot's shoes. You look inside them and tap their heels. So after we look through these thoroughly, I'm not surprised I can't find the ruby brooch here. Okay. Hats. What would you like? Yellow hat, a green hat, a blue hat, and a teal hat.
I see.
All right. Which color?
We can go left to right. Yellow.
Yellow hat. Take the yellow hat down from the shelf, mannequin head and all. Take a close look at the yellow hat, admiring the quality workmanship. Maybe one day you'll own a hat as fine as this.
Well, you could right now. Nancy, with some sleight of hand.
You can see why Nessa didn't bother inspecting all the hats. They're up high and hard to reach, and the mannequin heads are surprisingly solid and heavy, not hollow, leaving no room for hidden items. All right, X, green hat. Take the green hat down from the shelf, mannequin head and all. This green hat is a lot like yours, except newer and made of finer wool. Mannequin heads are made of painted hardwood, so the brooch couldn't be stuck into them to conceal it. Merely shaking the mannequin head is all that would be required to check if the brooch was balanced under one of the hats. Blue hat. Starting to ache from straining them. The lights to reach the hats. You wonder if your efforts will prove fruitful. You're starting to doubt it. Next, teal hat. Bright teal. The underside of the brim is the same, gorgeous hue. Grunt of effort. You rest the last mannequin head down from the shelf and examine the hat closely. Oh! Pinned to the inside of the last hat you inspect, you find Nessa's ruby brooch.
Uh-huh.
Margot had cleverly concealed the pinned part of the brooch between the hat and its band.
Mm.
Carefully unpin the ruby brooch from the hat before returning the mannequin head and hat to the top of the shelf. I'm glad I found it, but what do I do with it now? So I'd better find Nessa and give it back. Oh, yeah. Definitely. She'll appreciate that.
Yeah.
X brooch. Admired the rich, much coveted pigeon blood, deep red hue of the ruby mounted on the brooch. Thanks to your loop, you detect faint, rutile inclusions. But the gem is eye clean. That means the inclusions aren't visible to the naked eye. The inclusions are also called silk.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these faint lines might not be inclusions after all. They look a bit oily.
Mm.
Right, dust, brooch. Shocked to discover not one, but 2 fingerprints.
Oh.
Take fingerprints from blasting calves. Albert. 2 clear fingerprints on the ruby cabochon. Compare them to the fingerprints you've obtained from everyone in the lodge. One of these fingerprints belongs to Margot, which comes as no surprise. She admitted to stealing Nessa's brooch. The other fingerprint belongs to Jack. I should ask him about this.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Take yellow hat. I want to steal it, Nancy. You've earned it. You've solved so many crimes.
Yeah.
Look there. It's you, all right. Nice. All right. I was going to see if I could also find the Steins, but it says I don't need to search for a brooch anymore. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's check in on Kimmy. Oh, she's still sleeping. Kimmy. Talk to Kimmy. I guess I could try waking up Kimmy, but that seems wrong. Okay. Is there anything else? There's the Steins, which I haven't been able to find. There's the green trunk. But smells familiar. I do have some dynamite. Let's see. Light dynamite. I can't do that, damn.
I also probably want to save before.
Yeah, I did just save, which is
okay.
why I was open to trying that. Here we go. Light.
There you go.
Light dynamite. Well, maybe it doesn't have a fuse. Maybe I need to use the blasting capper somehow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The carriage is this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is. Oh. The double doors have been thrown wide open. You can see Ranger Murdoch and Jack inside the carriage house. They look nonplussed.
Uh-oh.
I was going to eavesdrop. Jack, what's going on? The automobile's gone, Nancy. I can see
I
that.
have an idea who took it.
Someone must have picked the lock on the driver's side door and made off with it. I think Albert's stolen the automobile. You hear a rumbling. Is that Thunder? Nope, that's Nathan. He went and got his automobile. Tell me what you know on the way. Time's a-wasting. Let's go. Right. It's going to be a bit of a tight squeeze and a bumpy ride. It's actually Evan's father's old car. I've managed to keep it running decently well, though the shocks are pretty stiff. Decently well? It'll be fine, Nancy. Just hang on tight. Okay. You'll pile into Nathan's automobile and head for the mine. Mr. Cardinal, I'm sorry we couldn't meet under better circumstances. Oh my, this is, that's quite a ride.
Yeah.
I understand your reluctance to be involved with the authorities. It's entirely justified. Evan's in danger. I will help my friend. We can figure out the rest later. I will safeguard you from any consequences of going off reservation, I promise. Let's deal with that later. I think Albert's stolen the automobile. You do? What makes you think so, Nancy? Albert's luggage is gone, and his room is a mess. It looks like he left in a hurry. Albert has so much luggage, and Jack said it was very heavy. It sure was. There's no way he could have handled all that luggage himself unless he took the automobile. I think he's driving it to the Sioux Locks to bomb it. He's not a Belgian mineralogist at all. He's a German spy!
What?
And his name might actually be Carl L. Carl L? Where did you hear that name? I found this telegraph tape and stick of dynamite in Albert's, Carl's room. And I found a bullet and a blasting cap in the blue trunk where he was storing some of his things. I think Carl is highly knowledgeable about explosives, armed and dangerous. Fantastic detective work, Nancy. I need to notify the appropriate authorities and follow up on this imminent threat. Oh, also I think Albert's got a gun. He's been storing bullets in the blue trunk, and he's knowledgeable with explosives. He's storing the blasting caps and dynamite separately. I think you're dealing with a professional saboteur, one that's armed and dangerous. Got it. I'll keep all of that in mind when we confront him, Nancy. Thank you. Please be careful. I will. I'll tell you how it goes when we meet again. Mr. Cardinal, could you please drop me off at the train station? I can send an urgent telegram for reinforcements. We'll have rangers at the Sioux Locks as soon as possible. Of course, but first, to the garnet mines. They're closer. Good idea. Telegrams travel faster than any automobile. However, it will take some hours to arrive at his destination. I want to look up those locks to see if I'm saying that right, or if it's like 500 locks. I can't tell. Okay, Sioux Locks are a thing.
Oh, okay.
In Sault Ste. Marie, in Michigan, but it's on the Canadian border.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's like between Canada and the U.S. Nathan stops his automobile as close to the garnet mine as he dares. The ground is rugged, and any roads leading to and from the area have fallen into disrepair many years ago. A bit of stealth is imperative as well. It wouldn't do for Nessa and Corvus to be alerted to your presence. The consequences for Evan could be dire. You and Jack watch Nathan turn the automobile around to head for the distant train station. It's all up to you now. Excellent job. Kudos on your thorough investigative technique. I wonder if it says that if you found, like, as much as possible during a chapter.
Yeah.
The mine entrance has been blasted shut. I have an idea. This can't be where Nessa and Corvus took Evan. Oh no, my theory's wrong. Nancy, wait a minute. This is the closest entrance to the mine. They were on foot. Not to mention, this is fresh rubble. Most likely, they did use this entrance, but the entrance collapsed after them. Abandoned mines are dangerous places. We have to be careful. Chapter 6.
Confrontations. It's like Daisy's confronting me right in
I
my
see
face
she
right
is,
now.
yeah. How are we going to get in? To know. But I'm going to grab that shovel and start digging. Oh, look what's next to the mine entrance.
Yeah. Little plunger.
Mm-hmm. Starts digging. Forgot to help Jack with this. Game has autosave. Okay. Tell Jack about dynamite. Construction sites back in Toronto. Yeah, that's dangerous business. Crimson's got a little cemetery. Plenty of men of that trade are resting there. Oh. Tell Jack about blasting cap. Okay. The abandoned garnet mine looks stark and desolate in the moonlight. Debris and forgotten equipment litter the area. There is rubble completely obstructing the entrance. The rubble does look fresh. Could be that Ness and Corvus did enter the mine from here. Jack is here. Plunger. The plunger detonator has been weathered by the elements and looks very worn, but it might still work. There's only one way to find out.
That's right, Nancy.
Plunger. Detonator has been weathered for many years outside. The wood is desiccated and splitting, and the screws are rusting.
Looks like there's a spool of wire there as
Yeah.
well.
The reel of wire still looks pretty good, considering it's been outside for years. Wire is still in pretty good condition. It should work. Let's see. Wire lasting cap. Let's see.
Just says that plunger says Acme. Find a different way in.
Okay. Take the reel of wire. Try to figure out a faster way to clear this rubble. Disclaimer: the developer of this game assumes no responsibility or liability for any errors or omissions in any processes depicted, particularly dangerous ones involving explosives. Do not attempt anything in this game in real life. Let's do a quick little save. Would transmit the charge from the plunger detonator, but that wouldn't be sufficient to set off the dynamite. To insert the blasting. Okay. Yes, thanks for explaining how this works, Nancy. Alright. Insert blasting into dynamite. Carefully insert the blasting cap into the dynamite. Alright. Wire dynamite plunger. Now I have a plunger detonator, wire, blasting cap, and a stick of dynamite. If I could rig this to blast the mine entrance open. Rig detonator to... Okay. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out the words.
Yeah,
I
the
need
process and
Yeah.
the vocabulary.
Insert a blasting cap into the dynamite. The wire to the blasting cap. Cut the wire and insert that end into the plunger detonator. Do I have anything to cut wire? That could work. Flush with pride, realizing that your childhood curiosity and your father's job as a dynamiter for construction companies has suddenly become useful. Dad would be proud. Okay. Wire, plastic cap. Scan the wire into the blasting cap, which has been inserted into the dynamite. Alright. Cut wire. So I just need to cut the wire from the reel and insert the cut end. I hope there's not an item I didn't miss somewhere. Let's see. Is there anything around here? Oh, look at that. Huh, right. Could you maybe look up and see if it's just like an item I should have picked up earlier?
I'll look it up. This is chapter 6.
Yeah, confrontations. Oh.
What's that?
Oh, I forgot I have the brooch. I can ask Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Look, Jack, I found Nessa's ruby brooch. Huh. Well, how do you like that? You're pretty good at finding things, Nancy. Want to know what else I found, Jack? Your fingerprint on Nessa's ruby brooch. Can you think of any reason why I'd find that? Okay. I helped Margot hide the brooch. It's the least I could do, seeing as Nessa probably killed her. Nessa probably murdered Margot, right? Or at least poisoned her? That's what you figure, right? Yes, that's what I think. Margot was telling me that Nessa had it out for her. She didn't tell me why she thought so. But it was easy to see, wasn't it? Nessa thought Margot would get the lodge and land instead of her. So yeah, when Margot came to me to help her hide the brooch, I did just that. Couldn't hide it in my room, because Albert's using it. Couldn't hide it in the room I'm sharing with Corvus, too risky. So I hid the brooch in Margot's giant closet, reached up high into her hats and pinned it inside one of them. Margot couldn't have reached up there. She was even shorter than you. We were going to sell it and use the money to help with the lodge's upkeep. So Nessa's should at least indirectly help fund that. Something she should have been doing anyway. But now, Margot's dead, Evan's missing, and Nessa and Corvus right in the middle of all of it. Things are coming apart. I don't see much point in anything anymore. You keep it. You found it fair and square. Pay your way through school or something. Make something good come of all this. Okay, Jack. I'll hold on to it for now. All right. Do you have a hint for me for...
Let's see.
Wire?
You'll need to cut the wire and attach the cut end to the plunger. If you don't see anything suitable in the area, you could try asking Jack.
Okay. Jack about wire. The wire looks like detonating cord. It's been out here for a very long time. Would be surprised if it's faulty. Probably junk. The wire would be certain. Okay. Do you happen to have any wire cutters, Jack? I do, actually.
Oh,
okay.
There we go.
Perfect. May I borrow those? Okay, sure thing. Here you go, Nancy. Wire cutters. Okay, thanks. I'm going to save again. All right. We'll do all caps. All right. Cuts wire. The wire cutters, you snip the wire from the reel. All right.
And then in the hint book, there was also another set of hints for the alternate way in if you weren't as thorough in the previous chapter.
Yeah, that makes sense, because it certainly looks like you could skip finding the blasting cap. So this is rigged. It's time to set it off. Right. Okay. It saved me.
Look at that. I love
All
makes
right.
it safe for you.
Press plunger. Here goes.
Oh, Nancy.
Nancy.
Boom.
Sorry, Jack.
Oh, it's just. Oh, goodness.
Maybe step back a wee bit.
Oh, gosh. Perfect.
All right. Tell Jack to move. Place time. Jack about. Okay, here we go. Oh wow, that could work. Set it up, and when you're ready, I'll keep shoveling. Shovel just in case it doesn't work. Set up explosive. Jack, I'm ready to set the explosive charge. Got it, Nancy. Give me a sec. Ready. Carefully place the rig to dynamite close to the rubble. All set. Nancy.
Yeah.
They're trying to trick you here.
Yeah.
All right, take plunger behind rock. We've already blown up Nancy once.
Yes.
We don't need Jack to see it happen. There's nothing.
Boom.
That was a bit anticlimactic.
Oops.
Well, it was only one stick of dynamite. Hey, it launched you and Jack all the way into the
That's
lake.
true, yeah.
Yeah, one stick can only do so much. Create a Nancy-sized hole in the rubble.
Nancy-sized hole, you say?
I think I can squeeze through. See an old discarded plunger detonator amongst the debris.
I wonder where that came from.
Yeah. Okay. It's your move, Nancy. Ask Jack for a light. Sorry, Miss People. All right. Okay. Enter. It's really dangerous. Let's widen this hole some more so I can go too. Evan is in danger. There's no time to lose. Keep working on the rubble and follow when you can. Okay, Nancy, you're the boss. You be careful here. I will, I promise. Wait, before you go, it's going to be dark. There's night in there. Darker even. Take those lantern.
Oh, there we go.
I tried to ask you for that previously.
God damn it, Jack. We just asked you about that.
Jack lights the lantern and hands it to you. I've got another one. Don't you worry. You're not the only one with big pockets. Good luck, kiddo. Thanks, Jack. Squeeze through the small hole in the rubble and enter the mine. Oh, wow. Seeing the lantern's light reflected brilliantly on the thousands of red crystals embedded in the walls, you're suddenly reminded of why you traveled to Crimson in the first place. If the situation wasn't so dire, you'd be dazzled by this cave of natural wonders. Instead, the red gleams look like blood is beating on every surface, just waiting to fall. You shiver. Toronto feels like it's 1,000,000 kilometers and 1,000,000 years away. Oh dear, it's so dark in here. I need to figure out which way Nessa and Corvus have taken Mr. Richards. Indeed, they came this way at all. Okay, game's auto-saved. Carnets. Oh, it's just L. Garden Mine's interior is much cooler than the outside. The air feels stale and still. You're grateful for the lantern's light, but the warm glow quickly gets swallowed by the darkness. Oh, wow. The interior of the mine is dark as night. Darker, actually. The lantern light doesn't extend very far, but the rocks nearest you are absolutely chock full of large red crystals and smaller white ones. The path slopes downward and is covered in dust and loose rocks. Achoo. Thanks. Crystal. Can't see that right now. Ooh, super impressions. Moving in multiple directions, preserving a thick layer of dust. These must have been made decades ago by the miners who used to work here. It's an odd feeling to see these shoe prints, almost like looking back into the past. Aha. Here are some pointy-toed size 14 men's dress shoe prints. Impressions made by size 8 women's shoes. And size 12 men's boots. I recognize this tread pattern from Mr. Richards' other boots. The 3 sets of shoe prints are the freshest, after all. Now I need to track these shoe prints and discover where they went next. Whew. So Nessa and Corvus did take Mr. Richards this way. What a relief. I'm on the right track, after all. Question is, where do they go from here?
Ugh.
That's a discard shovel. This machine is some sort of crusher. There's a particularly large red crystal embedded in a nearby boulder. Ooh, gorgeous. the shovel. Now that you're inside the mine, there's no need for the shovel. You don't know that. What if I need to hit someone in the head with a shovel? Too bad. I could have used this when helping Jack clear the rubble outside. X crystal. The crystal is massive with a deep red color and impressive clarity. It's a bit of a shame that crystals like this one got crushed into powder. I'm not surprised Crimson was established as a mining town.
Oh gosh, she's doing the Indiana Jones thing.
A particularly lovely crystal sample out of the rock. I hope.
Oh no, she's just chiseling. I see.
Yeah. I hope we're not on like a time pressure sort of thing. All right. Interior sample is pocked with many lovely crystals. The most prominent one is large and red. A healthy sized garnet, most likely. It's even gem quality. It's a real pity. This mine produced industrial abrasives only. It's too pretty to pulverize. Scratch crystal on plate. Prominent red crystal specimen. The larger crystal was actually making it awkward for you to streak test the colorless specimens. Ah, nothing. No streak. Could these be rubies? But they don't look quite right. These might not be garnets.
Mm.
Oh. There's something up there. What a X crusher. For what you can see in the lantern's light, the machine consists of a hopper, a pair of flywheels, and other bits you can't identify. This looks like a jaw crusher. It would coarsely grind up the garnets, but more processing is required to grind them fine enough to be sold as an industrial abrasive. You also see discarded rocks of various shapes, sizes, and colors scattered on the floor under the machine. Garnets get fed into the hopper, the flywheels are turned, which activates some kind of grinding mechanism. The ground up rocks empty out into this bucket placed underneath. Okay. Can I take the bucket? India's buckets are, it's a bit too big for even your capacious pockets. Left and right. Probably not very.
Eastward.
Mm-hmm. All right. So there's something on the ground there. And maybe it's just light. Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Like, you did discover Nessa's, Corvus's, and Mr. Richard's shoe prints, but you didn't ascertain if they went this way. Okay.
Oh, just a little crush.
Yeah. I wonder what happens if I hit. Oops. Okay.
I think we have a more recent save
Yeah.
than that.
Okay, I have to be more careful with the shoe prints, it looks like.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. Decent geology. Alright. Scratch crystal. Go through this all again.
No streak.
X crusher. Okay. X shoe prints. This course, some shoe prints mingle with the old miner shoe prints, but are much fresher. No fresh shoe prints heading up this path.
Okay.
Back to the main path. So maybe X shoe prints. The shoe prints I need to follow don't lead up here. I don't have time to wander around aimlessly. They take this path descending to the south. They moved further east. Okay, maybe there's something down here.
Okay.
Shoe prints head east, deeper into the mine. But Dusty Miner's shoe prints down the southern path. Okay. Oh, something in your pockets has scratched the ruby brooch. So that means I have something harder than...
Yeah, the ruby.
Yeah. Alright. Scratch crystal on ruby. The brooches. Cabochon is a ruby before I start using it to test other samples. Okay. Alright. Head down the eastern path. Okay. Will I find when I get there? I'm glad I was able to track Nessa and Corvus down this path. If I can find Mr. Richards before it's too late. Uh-oh. Ah, what was that? Despite the terrifying rumbles and shudders surrounding you, you forge onwards.
Uh-oh.
As you reach this firelit cabin, your lantern goes out. Oh no! The lantern is out of oil. There's no turning back now. Sign your will, Evan. Sign my fake will, you mean? If you're so smart, why didn't you just forge Pa's will? Then you wouldn't have had to come up with this dumb scheme. If you were so smart, you'd know that Pa's lawyer is still alive. He'd pipe up pretty quick if an actual will from his client came out of nowhere. But this is perfectly suitable backup plan. It's much easier to forge your will. If you do as you're told, I'll let you die quickly. Otherwise, you'll starve to death in the dark. And we'll forge your signature anyway. Nancy's on to you. You won't get away with this. We'll see about that. It'll be her word against ours. I have to rescue Mr. Richards. First order of business is to distract Corvus. Prior to the open cavernous area in the mine, the path descends down natural platform. Appears that the cave-ins that have been rocking the mine have created some deep chasms. Abundance of rocks of various sizes litter the floor. Okay. The rockfall looks fresh too. And there's a lot more of it. One doorway to the north is still clear. Doorways to the north and east are blocked by rocks. It's a very dangerous area. There's a central doorway that leads further back into the mine, as well as a doorway on the right that is completely clogged with rockfall. You see a large boulder even taller than you in the shadows nearby. You see a table, a fire, and a wheelbarrow. What was that? Nancy? Oh, no. Damn. This ties you up. Goodbye. Oh, no. Stuffed almonds in Evan's mouth. Cough, cough, ack. Oh, I'm definitely going to load a save. Nessa, what have you done? I should have done that a long time ago. Goodbye, Nancy. Okay. The lantern falls Nessa out the gun. You're left in darkness listening to Mr. Richards gasp his last breath. I'm sorry, Mr. Richards. All you can do is wait in the darkness. It feels like an eternity, and then footsteps. I'm in here. Help. Nancy, is that you? Mr. Richards? Ranger Murdoch. Nancy. Mr. Richards is dead. Let's get you out of here. This must be the bad ending.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Alright. Murdoch takes out a pocket knife and saws through the ropes that are binding you. Thanks. Corvus got away, and so did Nessa. I'm sorry. I failed. The important thing is you're safe. Come along. Sorry, Mr. Richards. Goodbye. Murdoch leads the way out of the mine. You feel incredibly relieved to be out of the mine. It feels like a great weight has been lifted off your shoulders. The automobile is parked down the hill. There are more Rangers waiting for us at the train station. How did everyone get here so quickly? Well, it wasn't quick, actually. I'm not actually a forest ranger. I'm a member of Northwest Mounted Police. We've been on the trail of a German spy and saboteur who was rumored to be in this area. We believe he is responsible for the bombing of the bridge west of Crimson. Albert Respa. I mean, Carl L. A man known to us as Carl Leffler. You revealed him, Nancy. Well done. Not only that, you tipped us off to what his next target would be. The Sioux Locks. Right again! As you know, Canada declared war on Germany a few weeks ago. It appears operatives directed by the German Foreign Office have undertaken a campaign here in Canada to delay military aid to Europe by targeting transportation links such as railways, bridges, and canals. I strongly suspect that Carl L., a man we know as Carl Leffler, is one of those operatives. He has been apprehended at the Sioux Locks while setting up explosive charges. Thanks to your impeccable detective work, Mr. Leffler will surely be brought to justice. Gee! Let's go.
Oh, some more Mounties.
Mm-hmm. Chapter 7, Conclusions. Train station's a flurry of activity. Rangers are milling around, consulting with each other in whispered conversations. Inside, you can hear the non-stop whir and tick of a telegraph machine. The ranger in charge looks up and acknowledges Ranger Murdoch with a nod. Just the man I wanted to see. Thanks to the intelligence he provided, we were able to alert authorities in Sault Ste. Marie about the impending sabotage attempt on the Sioux Locks. They were ready and waiting. Caught the man red-handed with luggage full of dynamite and blasting caps, not to mention a 9mm Luger in the glove box. Imagine his surprise when they called him by his real name, Carl Leffler, a.k.a. Albert Respa, German spy and saboteur. I would have loved to have seen the look on his face. All in all, some mighty fine work, Ranger Murdoch. The crisis has been averted. So much I'd like to take credit for it. Nancy Maple here is the one you ought to be thanking. She single-handedly figured it out. All I did was pass along the information. Well then, my thanks to you, Nancy Maple. You're a Canadian hero. Thanks. I'll warn you now, you might have to be an unsung hero at that. I have a feeling the Canadian government won't want to reveal just how vulnerable we were tonight. It could undermine the public's confidence at a crucial turning point for our country. Oh, I don't mind at all, as long as things worked out for the best. They did, Nancy. Truly, thank you for your service. Now what have you got there? We've just come from the old abandoned garnet mine. These folks were trying to rescue Mr. Evan Richards, who'd been kidnapped earlier this evening. Unfortunately, Mr. Richards was killed, and the perpetrator, Nessa Crab, and her accomplice escaped. They're also suspected of the murder of a young woman. We'll be aggressively pursuing these fugitives. The charges against them are very serious. We'll use every resource at our disposal. Roger. A busy night. Yes, indeed. Please dispatch some crime scene investigators to the lodge so we can build a strong case. Roger that. I'm heading back down to Toronto now. I need to meet with some higher-ups immediately. The Northwest Mounted Police has commandeered a train back to the city. I've been told you called Toronto home, Miss Maple. Will you join me? I'm exhausted. I don't think I'm up for more traveling tonight, and I'm not ready to leave Crimson just yet. Suit yourself. I'll need to take your statement for the report, but that can wait a day or two. Thank you. I'll need a bit of time to get my thoughts in order. Of course. There's going to be a ton of paperwork to do for this whole caper. I'll be trapped behind a desk for weeks. Do you send word when you'll be returning? I'll pick you up from Union Station and escort you straight to the police station. Will do. Thanks, Ranger Murdoch. Nancy drives you and Jack back to the lodge. Margot's death feels like it happened weeks ago. Your revival in Crimson feels like it happened months ago. It feels like years ago when you spoke to your boss, Professor Plummer. Ah, my boss, my fieldwork, what am I going to tell him? Despite the excitement of the evening, you find yourself nodding off, only to be jolted awake when Nathan's automobile hits an uneven stretch of road. Eventually, not even the bumpy road can rouse you. Nancy, you awake? We're back. Oh, sleep, Nancy. Once Jack has roused you from your deep slumber, you make your way upstairs as quietly as possible, lest you wake Kimmy. Okay, do I have control yet? No. Guess what a night. I've never been so exhausted. Okay, so the ransack curio cabinet. You realize there are a few things you may want to bring up with the other inhabitants of the lodge tomorrow morning. Make some new notes on fresh paper to remind myself. Oh, I could just decide to go to sleep if I wish. Yes. Jack. Oh, yes. I want to just go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like if you want to just...
It says look will give you ideas
Okay.
about what to do.
Forever the open canvas area in the mind, the path is sensed. Okay. What was that? Someone coming from the middle passage? I thought I heard something too. I'll take a look. Oh! Rocks. Ah!
Oh,
Corvus, what have you done? You oaf.
you oaf.
Either Corvus is inaudible behind the pile of rubble, or unable to reply. Eek! I didn't expect that to happen. I just wanted to create a distraction.
Oh, Nancy, you're a murderer now.
Corvus? Let's see if I can free Mr. This is preoccupied. 2 against 1 sounds like better odds. Maybe we can turn the tables on her until Jack arrives. Digging as hard as I am, Corvus. You always mess things up. Nessa continues to paw ineffectually through the rubble while chastising Corvus. Nancy? What are you doing here? You just don't know when to quit, do you? When I get over there, you'll wish you never meddled. Ah! I've got you, dearie. As it pulls a knight out of her skirt pocket. So it ties you up tightly with the length rope and sits you down beside her brother. Okay. Alright, I think we've seen. Frankly, try to untie Mr. Richards' bonds, but you fail. Nancy? What are you doing? Okay.
So it says you can try to untie Evan, or depending on what you know, you could try something else.
Okay.
If you know that Evan is allergic to almonds,
Oh, okay.
you could try.
I get it.
Maybe just take them.
Oh, she just throws them. Take the crushed Jordan almonds from the tabletop and throw them over the edge into the darkness. I won't let these endanger Mr. Richards' life. I've got you, dearie. Well, Evan's alive, but I feel like I can still do this better.
Okay, Nessa's coming from you, but the parser, which is the pause button, will pause the game.
Yeah, I figured that out as much.
Let's see. You can check your notebook for a suggestion of what you can try. It's not a literal instruction, though.
Okay. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Could you just give me the command? I think I know what I want to do. I just don't know the syntax.
So push the table at Nessa.
Okay. Okay. I had it close. Okay. Force knocks the wind out of her. Gah! You. Don't come any closer. Jack knows where I am. He'll be along shortly. It's over, Nessa. Over? Over? I said, don't come any closer. Don't tell me when it's over. Stay where you are. Trying to tell me what to do? How dare you? Why did you ever set foot in Crimson? Why? If it hadn't been for you. Nessa is so overwrought she can barely speak. Nessa stamps her foot angrily.
Uh-oh.
You.
Oh, she's so mad.
You're ruining everything. All of my planning, all that I've done, undone by you, you meddlesome slip of a girl. Nessa, be careful. Don't tell me what to do. How dare you? Nessa pulls a knife out of her skirt pocket. You'll never leave here alive. Watch out. I said, don't tell me what to do. Oh no. Mine gives a shudder, and part of the floor gives way. Nancy!
No!
You hear me? You think you've won? Dumb luck is all it is. Ah, Nessa. All right. Stop until Crimson is a hole in the ground, and I'm wealthy as a sultan. All right. Save Nessa? Okay, let's try.
Yeah.
I feel like... Oh, Nessa, be quiet for once. You're stronger than you look. Thanks. Humph. If I could safely secure Nessa. All right. Need something before I lock Nessa. You hook Nessa's belt loop on with the open padlock and close the padlock firmly around the front brace of the wheelbarrow. What do you think you're doing? Nessa struggles to get up, but the wheelbarrow is too heavy and resists her attempts. Nessa screeches in frustration. Ah! Well, well, now that that's over with, come help me with these ropes, Nancy. Right. Managed to untie Mr. Richards now that you have all the time in the world. Thanks, Nancy. I guess we should try and find our way out of here, eh? Yes, I think I know the way.
I guess in addition to pushing the table, you could also have taken the lantern.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I saw in the notes it said turn the table, so I assumed it was something table related.
Yeah.
Hey, sis, looks like you could use some cooling off. We'll come back for you. Maybe. Sputter. Wait, did you hear that? You can definitely hear footsteps approaching. We're in here! Help! Nancy, is that you? Mr. Richards? Ranger Murdoch! Nancy. Nathan's eyes widen slightly as his gaze settles on Nessa, sulking by the wheelbarrow. I padlocked Nessa to the wheelbarrow. Oh, I suppose we should deal with that. Alright, this feels like a better ending. I think I'm fine with this one. Ranger Murdoch kneels down and cuffs Nessa's hands together. He then cuts Nessa's belt loop with a pocket knife. Oh, Corvus is trapped behind that rubble in the middle passageway. We should probably get him out. Working together, you eventually clear the rubble and free Corvus. He's a bit worse for wear, but has only minor injuries.
Okay.
Ranger Murdoch cuffs Corvus just in case. Okay, let's get out of here. Good idea. Ranger Murdoch leads the way out of the mine. You feel incredibly relieved to be out of the mine. It feels like a great weight has been lifted from off your shoulders. The automobile is parked down the hill. And there are more rangers waiting for us at the train station. How did everyone get here so quickly? Well, it wasn't quick, actually. Okay, I think we've seen this.
Yeah.
Oh. Carl L. What's going to happen to Nessa? I think I've gathered enough evidence to prove that Nessa poisoned Margot. You'll be hearing from my lawyer. He's right there.
Yeah, he's right there with you.
Not me, that's for certain. Sputter. Let's go.
Sad to see that this is where the water type gym trader from gym leader from Pokemon Sword and Shield ended up.
Yeah, it's very disappointing, but sad she turned her back on all her Pokemon friends. This is what happens when you don't let Pokemon into your life. Activity. All right. I've seen this much, I think. Now, what do you got here? We've just come from the old abandoned garnet mine. This is Mrs. Nessa Crab. She kidnapped her own brother. I know that feeling. She could have done worse and gotten away with it too, except Miss Maple here was able to detain her by padlocking her to a wheelbarrow. I wonder if you don't have the padlock, if you have to, like, stop her again, or if she just makes a break for it.
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah. A rather resourceful, ingenious move, if I may say so. Aw, thanks. Humph. Nessa is unimpressed by her own capture. Ha! I'd go through it all again just to get to see the look on your face now. Sput. Mrs. Crab is also suspected of the murder of a young woman, and Mr. Corvus Shaw is her suspected accomplice. They have a lot to answer for. A busy night. Yes, indeed. Please dispatch some crime scene investigators to the lodge so we can build a strong case. Roger that. Happening back to Toronto now. Need to meet some higher-ups. Alright. Okay. Yeah, we've seen this before. Nathan drives you, Jack, and Evan back to the lodge. This death feels like it happened weeks ago. Your arrival in Crimson feels like it happened months ago. Feels like years ago when you spoke to your boss, Professor Plummer. My boss, my field work. Nancy, you awake? We're back. Zzz. I love sleeping Nancy.
Yeah.
I know I've had Nugget as my Discord avatar for a while, but I might have to grab the Sleeping Nancy.
Just over to Sleeping Nancy.
Yeah. Just to celebrate the end of this game. Once Jack has roused you from your deep slumber, you make your way upstairs as quietly as possible, lest you wake Gimme. Okay, here. Now we can answer some questions. What night? I've never been so exhausted. Fall asleep. Falls in the ransack curio cabinet. You realize there are a few things you may want to bring up with the other inhabitants of the lodge tomorrow morning. But to make some new notes on fresh paper to remind myself. Or I could just decide to go to sleep if I wish. Yes. Jack. Helping Margot hide the brooch. His fingerprint was on it clear as day. I found the brooch in Margot's walk-in closet, pinned under a hat. After Ness and Corvus had already thoroughly searched there, including the hats. Margot was already dead by then. Jack hid the brooch there after Ness and Corvus were finished searching that room. He admitted as much to me when I confronted him about finding his fingerprint on the brooch. Curio cabinet. Margot's finger was the only one lifted from the smashed curio cabinet. Plus, she needed to take the antique silver wedding steins. It's all pretty clear-cut. Thought she mentioned having help. Who helped with the steins? Jack again? I don't know. Check out that guy. That's my best guess. Okay, someone else must have been then. Who was the imposter at Crimson Lodge? Albert. Explains why he was examining that glacial erratic. He had no idea that it wouldn't be a good indicator of the geology in the area. The report Esper wrote for Nessa demonstrated no knowledge of proper field report procedures, nor appropriate use of mineralogical terminology. He was definitely not a mineralogical expert. I wonder if he was even Belgian. He was German. I wonder if you can figure out that he's a fake without also figuring out he's a spy. What was Kimmy's true... Kimmy had a true goal? Cormorants. Oh, okay. That's correct. After everything I've witnessed, I'm pretty certain that Kimmy is just a keen birdwatcher who probably had the worst vacation of her life.
Yeah.
Everything and anything can look suspicious if you're looking for suspicious activity. Were Evan Richards and Nathan Cardinal friends or enemies? Friends? The conversation in the conservatory indicated that they are similarly aligned when it comes to the fate of the lodge and lands. They also met up in the study after that first dinner. It's hard to tell if they were friendly then. But I did see them shake hands. They respect each other. Nathan was out late at night with Jack, and they were both helping Mr. Richards. I heard them talking about that. Judging from the conversation I overheard in the carriage house, Nathan, Jack, and Mr. Richards were working together to deal with Albert. Nathan helped me and Jack rescue Mr. Richards tonight. He's a true friend. Mr. Richards is lucky to have him. It seems like diamonds. It is possible, after all. But so far, that is only a hunch based on the samples I've gathered. I'll need to verify my hypothesis when I get back to the museum. I did see Nathan and Jack gathering something shiny from the riverbank. Smokehouse, I think it was?
Yeah.
Jack found solid evidence that Jack had hidden diamonds in the smokehouse. Okay. No. Quite sure Margot and Jack were just friends. He explained the meaning of their secretive boudoir meeting. He was helping her inject her medicine. Jack was a good friend to Margot and nothing more. He told me so, and I believe him. What's more, the evidence I found backs him up. I found his fingerprints in Margot's medicine kit.
Almonds, yeah.
Mr. Richards was allergic to almonds, and Nessa knew that. She brought those Jordan almonds with her and filled the cut crystal bowl in the parlor, overt as you please. Nessa wasn't just being a rude guest, she was a bully. But at least she didn't get away with it. Okay. I feel like I solved most of it. There's clearly a couple things I need to investigate more on my next playthrough. The next morning, feeling refreshed and ravenous. As you make your way down the upstairs hallway, you begin to smell the inviting aromas of coffee and bacon. You enter the kitchen and find the other inhabitants gathered around the table, digging into a hearty breakfast. You join in. Morning light is streaming through the small window, causing motes of dust to sparkle and dance in the light. Mr. Richards is slumped in front of the table, eyes downcast. Yeah, he's had a rough day.
Yeah.
I've already admitted to helping Margot hide Nessa's ruby brooch. Sure did. Said before that you and Margot planned to sell the brooch to help pay for the lodge's upkeep. Yeah, she was trying to lay claim to the whole place, but she'd never lifted a finger to take care of it, nor sent a dime. He also said because of the state of things, you didn't see the point of executing that plan. But I think you should. What do you think, Mr. Richards? Sounds good to me. That'd be a nice thing for Nessa to indirectly do. She certainly wouldn't intentionally do anything good for anyone else. Hand the ruby brooch over to Jack. Thanks, Nancy. Hey, maybe I can get a new mop.
Yeah.
Then Nessa had it out for Margot, and this was Margot's way of getting back at her. Yeah, but I figured it was because Nessa was afraid Mr. Richards would bequeath the lodge and lands to Margot instead. Oh, she sure was. Nessa was dead set on making Margot go away, so the lodge and lands wouldn't end up with her. Which they never were, of course. I'd promised all that to Nathan and his family, always and forever. Margot understood. I will admit to worrying about the fate of the lodge and lands from time to time. But once I learned how much Margot left it here too, just as it is, I worried less. But when that fisherman found that diamond, yeah, that was trouble. Nessa arrived and she recognized Margot's face from some old wanted posters. In a past life, Margot lived and worked up in Skagway during the Klondike Gold Rush. She was just a kid. She made some mistakes, trusted the wrong people, but she told me all that, so it didn't work when Nessa tried to blackmail her into leaving Crimson. Nessa found another way to get the better of her. Evan's face falls, clamps his mouth shut. Her secrets, you mean like in her boudoir on the first night you arrived? Yes. I know we've already discussed that. You said the two of you were just friends, I believe you. Yeah, Jack helped Margot with her Salverson treatments. You knew about that? Sure did. Jack helped her with that every night. I couldn't. Too squeamish. The injections were very painful for her. I couldn't stand to do them. Well, that makes me feel better about that. Margot knew Nessa and Corvus would rummage through her things. Her vanity has a lock, but she suspected that it wasn't secure. In fact, she suspected it had been tampered with already. I kept the brooch in my pocket for a bit, but when we were fixing to head to the garnet mine, I didn't want to bring it with me. So I nipped upstairs to her giant closet and pinned it to the underside of one of her hats. But one of those mannequin heads. I figured should Nessa and Corvus return to the lodge, the last place they'd look is somewhere they'd already searched. Gimme. I'm sorry that your birding trip was full of so much drama and tension, but I'm very glad I got to meet you. Thanks so much, Nancy. That's very kind of you. Yes, this was one of the strangest trips I've ever taken. So much unpleasantness and tragedy. But I don't regret coming here. Crimson is a beautiful place. Margot was very kind. Jack and Nathan really helped me feel at home here, despite everything. And you, Mr. Richards. Yeah, I can see why you love Crimson so much. I love it too. Aw, that's real nice. Thanks, Kimmy. And Nancy, I'm very glad I got to meet you too. You're one of a kind, brave and clever. No matter what happens, I'm sure you'll make your dreams come true. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I'll try my best. Nathan, I have to know. Yes, I have to know. Are there diamonds here in Crimson? Jack exchanged meaningful looks. I think you and Jack were picking alluvial diamonds out of the riverbank when I saw the two of you last night. Nancy. There are diamonds in Crimson. We have to check the riverbanks regularly for ones that come down the river. Over time, we've managed to extract most of the gems that are in the ground, but soil erosion also reveals them. Every so often, we gotta go looking for more that have appeared. They're easiest to see by moonlight. Evan used to help us. In fact, he used to do it all by himself. Yeah, but it wore my back down, so it's now up to Jack and Nat. Fortunately for us, not many people were around. It was a difficult secret to keep, even then. Yeah. Until that fish swallowed that whopper of a diamond. That lucky duck fisherman caught it. Nothing but trouble that was. My goodness, I see. We know that your fieldwork is very important to you. We certainly can't prevent you from divulging anything you may have discovered here. You can only ask that you think about what that news could mean for Crimson. You like it how it is now. I do too. Me too, and so did Margot. What'll happen now? That'll partially depend on you, Nancy. Oh, I hope they don't poison her.
Yep. Yeah, that's the ending.
That would be quite a shocking twist.
This drink tastes
Yeah.
funnily like arsenic.
I'll pile into Nathan's automobile, except for Mr. Richards, because there isn't enough room in the four-seater. Since you'd like some time alone anyway, he gives you and Kimmy a nod and then turns away. As the automobile trundles away from the lodge, you crane your neck and take one last look. Really going to miss this place, in spite of everything. Turn to face forward. The rattling of the rough road makes it hard to think. The only coherent thought you manage to have is, what will you tell your boss? And what could that mean for your future? Thank goodness the bridge has been repaired enough to allow trains to cross it again. Repaired enough? You are traveling light, Nancy. I wouldn't be too concerned. Traveling light, thanks to Albert. Okay, Nancy, the train's gonna leave soon. Be well. Oh, what about you, Kimmy? I've talked it over with Evan, Jack, and Nathan. I think I'll stay on for a bit. It's been so tense here. I want to relax, enjoy the birds, and the fall migration is starting in a few weeks. The leaves will be changing color. I promised Jack that I'll help with the lodge chores. I'll earn my keep. That's wonderful news. I wish I could stay longer too, but I've got to get back to my job in the city. Good luck, Nancy. I'm going to miss you. I'll miss you too, Kimmy. Be well. I'll miss you all. Thanks for letting me stay with you, and please thank Mr. Richards too. We'll let him know. You're made of pretty tough stuff, Nancy. Jack's been telling me how brave you were down in the mine. We're grateful for all you've done here. Goodbye, Nancy. Yeah, bye, Nancy. Now go on. The train's not going to wait forever. Right.
Oh, just this plot twist, it's not arsenic. Nancy just got too into the rye again.
Yeah. Stare out of the train window. It's a clear, cool morning. It's crisp and refreshing. It is this far north. You brace yourself for the muggy summer heat down by Toronto. Your mind is buzzing with all that has transpired over the last few days. Feels like you're returning home from a long voyage. Can't help but wonder, did you miss anything? Did you leave any loose ends? Probably quite a few. Would you like to be privy to some helpful introspective thoughts? Yes or no? Okay. I'm all about them. Oh. Okay. Yes. What could have happened to the Silver Steins? Maybe if I asked around after Margot's death, folks would feel less protective of her and more talkative. Albert was an imposter, no question about it. He was definitely not an expert mineralogist.
That sounds a little gatekeepy, Nancy, but I get it.
Another detail that I missed that would support my theory that he wasn't a well-read mineralogist. Probably. Sure that means, yeah. Oh yeah, they're talking about the conversation I missed between Nathan and Albert.
Oh yeah. About Nathan after that meeting, or even Nathan himself, I learned something. Okay. I collected some rock salt from the bag in the smokehouse. There's some more of the salt. Oh, I wonder if I should have scraped the salt on the plate. Didn't solve the mystery of the missing silver wedding steins. I do know Margot took them. She admitted as much. But I don't know where the steins are now. Maybe I should have made some inquiries. Particularly after Margot's death. When people... Okay. That feels like the biggest thing maybe I can solve. But it sounds like maybe I should have done that in the chapter, like right after the death, when I could wander around. But I was trying to drop in on all those conversations. Ranger Murdoch meets you at Union Station as arranged. Ranger Murdoch. Hello, Nancy. It's good to see you again. Would you like me to drive you home to rest? No, thanks. I'm eager to have my interview. Let's go. Right, follow me.
Nancy, you're under arrest for sedition.
Yes. Should I say Nancy, some German last name?
Yeah.
The wanted poster on the bulletin board and see a familiar face. Face has familiar features, but the expression gives you pause. It's unmistakably Margot, but she looks scared and angry. The name is different too. The Margot you knew was at peace, kind and caring. You feel fortunate to have met her when you did. Poster lists her offenses as assault, theft, racketeering, public nuisance. Nancy. Sorry, just lost in thought. Yes, that person has been on the most wanted list for a few years now. Skagway was a near lawless place. Sometimes who the criminals were was a matter of public opinion. Sometimes if you didn't make friends with the right people, you could get stuck with all sorts of trumped up charges. Does she look familiar to you? No, I don't recognize her. Very well, let's begin. Suddenly the door bursts open to reveal your boss, Professor Plummer. Plummer jumps in. Nancy, there you are. Welcome back. I heard the train had come in. Sir, we're in the middle of a confidential interview. My apologies. I won't be a moment. Nancy, where did you find... Oh, what did you find? Are there diamonds in crimson? I must know. Yes or no?
Notes been added to your notebook.
No. I'm afraid I didn't find anything significant, Professor. Managed to obtain some good samples, though. I think I'll still be able to produce a good report from my fieldwork. It just won't be very exciting. I'm sorry to hear it, Nancy. As for exciting, most research isn't. Don't worry too much about that. Come see me when you're ready. And I'll help you with your report. Thanks so much, Professor Plummer. Take care, Nancy. See you soon. I like the way he moves.
Yeah.
Now let's really begin. The information you've read will be kept strictly confidential, of course. Thank you. I appreciate it. We've detained Nessa Crab in connection with Evan Richards' kidnapping, Margot's murder, and attempted fraud. According to Mr. Richards, he was assaulted at the jetty, but it was dark out and he was rather inebriated. Do you have any evidence connecting Nessa to the scene at the jetty? Yes or no? Yes. Yes, I do. What evidence did you find? If there are multiple points to make, we'll discuss them separately. Fingerprints. Found Nessa's fingerprint on a shattered crystal decanter at the jetty. It's made of thick glass. It wouldn't have broken from being tipped over or dropped from carrying height. I think Nessa had a confrontation with Evan on the jetty, during which she forcefully threw the decanter down, causing it to break. Well done, Nancy. Our investigators found that broken decanter and came to a similar conclusion. Do you find anything in areas besides the jetty that would connect Nessa to Evan's kidnapping? Yes or no? Yes, I do. I covered these hairs from the woods north of the jetty. I'm pretty confident they belong to Nessa. Long gray-brown hairs. Our investigators didn't find any hairs. I'll send someone over to take another look. The bulbs of these hairs are intact. That means they needed to be ripped from the scalp with some force. That definitely implies she was part of a struggle in that area. I'm going to have to keep these hairs, Nancy. Of course. Do you have anything else to share that would connect Nessa to Evan's kidnapping? Areas other than the jetty.
I think there were almonds in the smokehouse.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Fits.
Maybe the button too. I think that was Corvus.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And on these Jordan almond fragments. Okay, and there was a fingerprint on one. Yeah. Fantastic, Nancy. You placed Nessa in that smokehouse. May I have those? Of course. Get the Jordan almond treasure. Goes to Ranger Murdoch. Do you have anything else to share that will connect Nessa to Evan's kidnapping? We have like this, but that's more related to the murder.
Yeah. Maybe do you have the will? Maybe.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. Well, that's the key.
She's still wondering how to borrow. No, Nancy, I think no at this point.
Let's try guess. Maybe shoe prints. Nessa's shoe prints in the wooded area near the jetty. I knew the shoe prints belong to Nessa. I learned the shoe sizes of everyone at the lodge. She's the only one who wears that size and style of shoe. That's some good detective work, Nancy. We knew about the shoe prints because we took prints of Nessa's shoes when we took her into custody. I tracked Nessa's shoe prints into the smokehouse. I think that's where she and Corvus temporarily detained Evan till they were ready to take him to the Garnet Mine. I think that's all the information I have about Nessa and the areas around the jetty. Okay, let's move on. We believe Mr. Richards was being held in the lodge's smokehouse before being moved to the Garnet Mine. Do you find any evidence to support our theory regarding his unlawful confinement, yes or no? Yes. Let's see. What do I still have? Start with fingerprints.
I just like imagining Nancy just repeatedly saying yes to herself.
Yes, I found rope fibers on the floor of the smokehouse. I believe he was tied up and then taken away later. Stress Richards has said as much. The evidence we can gather will help us build cases. How do you figure out that Mr. Richards was taken to the Garnet Mine? If you're not sure, you can just say no or pass. Simple. Mr. Richards had used the jam from Jack's thumbprint cookies to draw a hidden symbol. The symbol was a red circle surrounded by a round red border. Red? Symbol even resembled the thumbprint cookies, which I learned are called Hallongrada in Swedish. Hallongrada means raspberry cave in English. The raspberry cave could be a garnet mine. Exactly. Mr. Richards was talking about the garnet mines at dinner on the night I arrived in Crimson. He said they've been deserted for years. It was the perfect place for them to hide him. Mr. Richards told us that Nessa was attempting to intimidate him into signing a forged copy of his own will. Do you have any knowledge that might help back up his claim, yes or no? Yes. What did you learn? One word answers, please. I have a copy of the will.
Yeah. Okay, I have the answer for this one.
Sure.
Okay.
Is it not will?
I guess it's also almonds.
Oh, okay. Oops. Oops, there. Pause. Mr. Almonds is allergic to almonds and has been since childhood. It was common knowledge. Nessa brought Jordan almonds with her when she returned to launch. And shattered piece of Jordan almonds in the smokehouse. I believe managed to recover one of Nessa's fingerprints from the remnants of one of the shiny candy shells. Stellar work, Nancy. Our investigation team didn't find that. What's more, there were more Jordan almond pieces in the cavern where Nessa brought him. There's no doubt in my mind that Nessa brought the Jordan almonds to the lodge, knowing full well how dangerous they were to Mr. Richards. Maybe at first she only planned to intimidate him with them, but in the end, she was prevented from doing any worse. So we want to Corvus Shaw's role in Mr. Richards' kidnapping. Do you have any evidence that could connect Corvus to his crimes? Yep. Let's do the button.
Yeah.
First. I'm starting to lose my voice, so I don't know if I'll read out all of this.
Sure. No. Interesting. Does Nancy just have a giant bag of salt that's actually diamonds?
She might, yes.
Unless she took it from the smokehouse, it would probably still be there, but yes. Maybe.
She has some small bits of salt that might actually
That's true, yeah.
Yes, I do. Now I can give him the will, maybe.
Yeah.
A field report in Corvus's satchel that was identical to the indentations on the paper in the waste paper basket. I was able to read the full field report. It's clear to me that Albert was stringing terms together without knowing what they actually meant. Fascinating. You wouldn't happen to that field report, would you? It's not worth the paper it's written on. Any mineralogist will tell you that. The Geological Survey of Canada would never endorse it. I'll be writing my own field report, which I'm hoping the Royal Canadian Museum will publish. I'm proud of the work I did. With any luck, my report will be a newly definitive survey of Crimson, Ontario. Sorry, I got a bit carried away. Back on track. Something to show or tell Ranger Murdoch about that. Do I have anything else about Albert? He loved cookies. We know that much. I think Carl sandwiched out to the train bridge. Same strip of telegraph tape that... Oh yeah, the telegraph. Albert's real name and next to her sabotage, it said, "Well done in Crimson." We originally suspected Leffler of the bridge sabotage, but hadn't thought to search for luggage that matches the set he was carrying when you arrested him at the Sulaks. That would be a very compelling connection to make should we find such an item. Speaking of items, do you happen to have this telegraph tape? I do. Alright, do I have anything else? I've got the cigar. What else do I have? Ticket. I'm just trying to take a step on the jackets he left behind before we close the lodge.
Daisy, what's up? You're cute.
She is cute, but has she ever solved a mystery?
Probably not. Unless it's the mystery of what is inside mice.
I think you tossed my luggage out of the back of the train. That would be the easiest way to dispose of it surreptitiously. Very well deduced, Nancy. Just so happens, Ranger has found your luggage near the train tracks between Crimson's train station and the previous stop. Oh my goodness, they did? Yes, your name was found on the tag inside. Everything is intact.
Oh, good.
That's wonderful news. I was afraid I'd have to save up for another field kit. Your luggage is still an exhibit in the ongoing investigation into Carl Leffler. Found some fingerprints on the inside and outside of the luggage. We'll be needing to fingerprint you while you're here at the station, so we can separate your prints from those of the suspects. After the case is wrapped up, we'll return your luggage to you, of course. I understand. Thank you, Ranger Murdoch. Ticket stub. Yep. And the cigar. That's all I have to share about Albert. I mean, Carl Leffler. Fair enough.
Is Daisy even your real name, Daisy?
Yeah. How can we be sure?
How do we know you're not an operative?
Yes. Margot's death. Margot's murder. Does appear to be the case. We're looking into it. Do you have any evidence you'd like to give me that could help us make a case for Margot's murder? Jar. Covered this jam jar from the river by Crimson Lodge. I think it's a key piece of evidence against Nessa regarding Margot's poisoning. Hand the jam jar over to Ranger Murdoch. Thanks, Nancy. What can you tell me about it? There's a powdery white residue inside, along with a bit of flypaper. I'd be very interested to learn what the residue is. Though I wouldn't be surprised if it's arsenic. Really? The box of the flypaper strips warns that they contain arsenic. Pretty dangerous stuff. We'll find out one way or another. Thanks, Nancy. Found a fingerprint on the outside of the jam jar. It's Nessa's. Let's go a long way toward connecting Nessa to Margot's death. Very possibly to ruling the death of poisoning. Excellent work. I overheard Nessa having a conversation with Corvus in the apple orchard. She admitted to soaking flypaper in glass jars to obtain poison, storing it in her flask, and tossing the jars over the waterfall. It's pretty incriminating, especially if the evidence can back up your story. In fact, we confiscated a silver flask from Mrs. Crabbe when we took her into custody. We'll be sure to test it for poisonous substances. Flypaper. Flypaper and garden shed after reading its tiny warning label. Discovered it. Flypaper contains arsenic. Maintains a supply of flypaper at the lodge, but this is the only box that was in the shed, and this box looks crisp and new, but empty. I suspect Nessa was stealing flypaper and extracting arsenic from it. An interesting theory, Nancy. Alright, what else do I have? Okay. Wire cutter still.
It says jar, flypaper box, Margot's glass.
Oh, I don't know if I have the glass. I can try telling you about it. I don't actually. Okay. Okay.
And hair.
Oh, I wonder if I could have taken a sample of her hair. Okay. So I guess
Okay.
no. Afraid not. Okay, moving on. I think that does it, actually. Thanks for your time, Nancy. You're set to work on your field report of Crimson. You write at length about the samples you've obtained and the observations you've made, though you do leave out a few details, such that there are diamonds in Crimson. Professor Plummer proves to be an enthusiastic and patient mentor, despite his mild disappointment at the unremarkable findings. You impressed him with your attention to detail and hard work. Together, you produce an impeccable field report that is published by the Royal Canadian Museum, and eventually endorsed by the Geological Survey of Canada. Your first publication, Nancy, a real feather in your cap. Weeks pass. Soon you're immersed in your regular life. You become an expert on the filing system and even suggest some ways to improve it. You find yourself missing the fresh air, the roaring waterfalls, and rushing rivers of Crimson. I wonder if you'll ever hear about how things are going up there, until one day... There you are, Nancy. Oh, there's a cat. I forgot we saw that cat the first.
Oh, yeah.
Today's newspaper might be of interest to you. Jailed.
Oh.
Crimes of the North. Third star is about Nessa Crab. She's being charged with Margot's murder, her brother's kidnapping, and attempted fraud. The article mentions that Nessa's alleged accomplice, Corvus Shaw, is being charged for his role in Margot's murder, Evan's kidnapping, assault, and attempted fraud. You're relieved to see no mention of Crimson anywhere, not even in the smallest news items. You figure no news is good news. There's no mention at all about Carl's attempted sabotage at the Sioux Locks, only that there will be minor delays due to routine maintenance. You probably want to make sure that there aren't any more explosive devices in and around the locks. Had Albert succeeded, you shudder to think of it. Skim the rest of the newspaper, but nothing else catches your eye. That's a relief, I suppose. Okay. There's her not fancy hat. Too bad about the whole diamond fiasco, eh, Nancy? But we both knew it was a long shot. Good work today, kiddo. See you tomorrow, bright and early. Yes, sir. Start the long walk home. You're relieved that Crimson won't become an open pit mine and that Kimmy and her cormorants are safe and happy.
Oh, new.
This must be her lodging. A lucky diner. Okay. Hi, Nancy. Another late night, eh? I've got a bit of stew saved for you. Kept it nice and warm on the stove. Thanks, Mrs. Williams. I'm starving. Go on in, lass. I'll serve it up. I'll be down in a bit. Okay, lass. Take your time. Mrs. Williams ladles a hearty bowl of stew and slices a bit of bread for you. The food is delicious and warms you to the bone. She sits with you and the two of you chat about the goings-on in the neighborhood. You're grateful she rents you a room so cheaply. Museum clerks don't get paid very much. Once your belly is full, Mrs. Williams has washed the bowl. You step lightly upstairs, lest you wake the other lodgers. Fall asleep as your head hits the pillow. You're exhausted, and tomorrow will be another exhausting day. But every exhausting day is another step closer to making your dreams come true. Well done, Nancy. The next morning. Pick up the envelope. It's from Mr. Richards. There's a bit of bulk to it, and you're surprised the envelope fit under the door. You open the envelope and read the letter inside. It reads, Dear Nancy, I hope you're well. Me and Jack are doing well, and so's Kimmy. She's been helping out around the lodge. I'm grateful. Kimmy still plans on staying on to see what the fall bird migration will look like in Crimson. I've told her about the birds I've seen in previous years, and she seems excited. You're a good soul. Now that things have calmed down, I've had time to rest and think on things. I wanted to say thank you. I've got no doubt you'll make your way in this world and succeed on your own terms. Thank you especially for caring about what happened to Margot and doing something about it. Nessa will be behind bars for the rest of her life. From what I hear, she quite likes the strict rules and routine. I'm just relieved that Nessa will never intrude on my life ever again. Thanks. My gal Margot lived a whole other life before she met me. I know all about it. She told me. I knew she was sick. None of it mattered to me. I just wish I'd died first. But never mind about the past, Nancy. Let's talk about the future. Margot was a very successful businesswoman up in Skagway, which is what brought her unwanted attention from unsavory people. She had to do certain things to protect herself, including leaving town quick. She had to leave some things behind. She'd buried them and told me where. Now I'm telling you where. Coordinates and directions enclosed. If you're up for an adventure, seek out what she buried. It's all yours. You earned it. But wait for spring to set in and take the time to plan the journey. Skagway's a long way away, so I've enclosed something to help pay your way there. Take it to a jeweler with deep pockets and sell it.
Oh.
If you'd rather not make the trip to Skagway, sell it and use it to pay for your education, your dreams, or just enjoy life. It's up to you. Nathan sends his regards, which reminds me, I've already transferred ownership of the lodge and lands to Nathan. I should have done that a long time ago. I'm living in his house now. We all are. Take care, Nancy. You're welcome at the lodge anytime. Nathan says so, and so do I. Evan Richards. You unwrap the little bundle of cloths and are stunned to find yourself holding Margot's white garnet necklace. Oh, this probably isn't a garnet. Can't resist the call to adventure. You sell the necklace and spend the bleak, monotonous winter months in the city, planning your trip up to Skagway. At long last, the weather becomes warmer. Book a train trip out west. By the time you arrive in Vancouver, it's the start of summer. Manage to book passage on a large fishing vessel up through the Georgia Strait, along the coast of British Columbia, and into Alaska.
Oh my.
From there, it's a quick jaunt up the Lynn Canal on a small fishing vessel and into Skagway proper. The fisherman drops you off at the dock bright and early, tells you he'll pick you up at the end of his workday, after which you'll spend the night in Juneau. Head into the wilderness, fending off the largest black flies you've ever seen. Eventually you find the spot that Evan described in this letter. Oh my. This is it. Oh. Dig under the bush. Dig under. I thought this was just going to be the setup for a sequel.
Yeah, me too.
Use your trusty trowel to dig under the bush. You don't have to dig very far before you hit a wooden cigar box. To the cigar box, you find a purple velvet drawstring bag and an envelope. There's a letter inside the envelope. You unfold it and start reading aloud. If you're reading this, it means I never made it back here to retrieve this box. That could be for many reasons, but the two that preoccupy my mind are the following. Number one, that I've managed to find a place where I belong, among people who love me, and that I never felt the need to return. The other reason is that I'm dead. But, seeing as this is in the middle of nowhere, I'm going to hope that you are someone I care about, that I told you about this. Whomever you are, friend or stranger, whether you came to this by love or luck, you're welcome to it. All I ask is that you tell no one where it came from, because I did find the contents of this bag near Skagway, in a secret spot. One day I hope this area will recover from the harm that was caused by the gold rush, by people like me. It's my fervent wish that nature reclaims Skagway, and the waters will run clear once more. Be well, Margot. You find gold nuggets of varying sizes, the largest of which is as big as a walnut. Oh, wow. Take the bag of gold nuggets and put them in your pocket. Doesn't feel right to leave the box empty. With a flash of inspiration, you realize exactly what you should do.
Ah.
Place your samples from Crimson into the cigar box. Back into the ground where they belong. Keep your secret, Margot, if you'll keep mine. Carefully rebury the cigar box beneath the bush. Margot picked a perfect spot to conceal her treasures. Even now, you can hardly tell where you've just dug. I suppose that's that. And then a Yeti jumps out and gets her.
Yes. Oh no.
You take one last look at the mountains and rolling hills and wonder what Margot was thinking and how she was feeling as she stood in this spot. Could have told you about the peaceful and beautiful place you'd find, the people you'd meet who'd care about you. Goodbye, Margot. Goodbye. Back to the dilapidated dock. The fisherman's waited for you. His net's full of halibut. Thank him for waiting. Tell him you had a lovely hike aboard his vessel. It's time to go home.
Oh,
gotta.
Is that the brooch?
Oh,
Or
couldn't resist keeping one of the blazingly bright red crystals.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Did a good job with sussing out the motives and actions of the guests, but you missed the mark on a few things. You scored 16 points out of 24 during your pre-departure ponderings.
Okay.
Performed satisfactory during your interview with the ranger, but you could have been more helpful. Scored 18 points out of 19 during your interview with Ranger Murdoch. You did pretty well in your investigation and reporting of Margot's death. Scored 6 points out of 8 for your Margot investigation. Carl Leffler, aka Albert Respa, was tried and found guilty of sabotage of the railway bridge, attempted sabotage of the Sulaks, espionage, fraud, theft, and a litany of other minor charges. He was incarcerated at Kingston Penitentiary until his death, 12 years later. Heart attack. The Sulaks were patrolled by the Northwest Mounted Police for the duration of the Great War. No other sabotage attempts were made. Thanks to this vigilance, Canadian supply lines along the Great Lake waterways remained uninterrupted. This played an important part in Commonwealth war efforts and crucially contributed to the Allied victory. Corvus Shaw was found guilty of being an accomplice in Evan's kidnapping, forgery, and attempted fraud. He helped clear him of charges involving Margot's death because he'd been privy to the conversation he had had with Nessa in the orchard. He was disbarred and served 5 years in a medium-security prison. Upon release, grateful for your assistance in partially clearing his name, he dedicated himself to community service. Margot was laid to rest in Crimson's lushly overgrown cemetery in an informal service, attended by Evan, Jack, Nathan, and Kimmy. As consolation to the attendees that Nessa was brought to justice for all her crimes. Kimmy Kishiro stayed at the lodge until after the autumn migration of birds, when she returned to Vancouver to be with her family. From then on, she'd visit Crimson for the spring and autumn migrations, as well as the cormorant's nesting season every summer. Jack remained at the lodge, continuing to take care of it after Evan legally transferred the lodge and lands to Nathan Cardinal and his family. When Jack became old and creaky, the Cardinals in turn took care of him. Nathan Cardinal and Evan Richards arranged the transfer of the lodge and lands to the Cardinal family. Effective immediately. Considering recent events, they agreed it was a good idea. The secret of the Crimson Diamonds remained hidden. Nessa Crab was found guilty of Margot's murder, the attempted murder of Evan, kidnapping, and attempted fraud. She was sent to the newly constructed Northwest Wing of Kingston Penitentiary, earning the unenviable distinction of being one of the most serious female offenders to be incarcerated there. She died behind bars before serving her full sentence. Evan Richards peacefully lived the rest of his days in his beloved lodge. Upon his death, he was buried alongside Margot with his parents in Crimson, which is exactly what he wanted. Crimson remained a haven for wildlife of all kinds. You continue working diligently as a clerk at the Royal Canadian Museum. Eventually, you are accepted at the University of Toronto in the Department of Geology and Paleontology as an undergraduate. Professor Plummer spoke highly of your fieldwork in Crimson in his letter of recommendation. Although your findings weren't revolutionary, he tells you that impeccable, exhaustive work, regardless of result, is the bedrock of any scientific discipline, and that he's very proud of you. A few months later, you receive a letter from Ranger Murdoch praising your investigative prowess and tenacity in bringing Margot's killer to justice, helping to foil the sabotage attempt of the Sulaks. He says you're a natural detective, and that he hopes your paths will cross again someday. Thanks for playing. All right.
All right.
Thanks for the game.
It
was
great.
a fun time. I would definitely play another Nancy Mabel game, but I think this one took quite a while to make, so I don't know how likely that is. We'll be back in a couple days for a slightly more violent game.
Yes. A few more murders to not really solve, but kind of...
It's pretty easy to tell who committed the murder because it was you.
Yes. To, yes. Mm-hmm. To assist in.
Mm-hmm. Wizards on Friday, and we'll have to pick out a new game for Sunday.
Yeah.
Maybe something October-ish.
Yeah, we'll have to see what kind of stuff is out there.
It's spooky season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This will be our last September stream because Tuesday's, I think, the first.
Yep. We won't have any water.
Yeah, well, yeah. No running water, at least. Getting new countertops in the bathroom. And new flooring. Yeah. Though we will be getting a porta potty. So.
That'll be an experience.
Yes. But at least we won't have to like drive somewhere to use the bathroom.
That would be quite a bit. Especially at night.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a cheesecake to try to get out of a pan.
Oh, yeah.
It should be ready to go now. I assume these are
patrons, maybe?
Patrons, yeah. I don't know if this was Kickstarted or if it was just a Patreon thing. I think it might have just been a Patreon thing.
Okay. Has she done any games prior to this?
Not to my knowledge, no. She might have done some other like Adventure Game Studio stuff, but maybe not something as large as this. I don't know for sure.
Adventure Game Studio, is that like an engine or something?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of curious if it was like a more modern engine just made to like look like this, or if it was actually kind of using pieces of like old Adventure Game engines.
She has some other projects on her website, but it looks like it's mostly just like pixel art and stuff. I don't know if there's any other games.
Game Dev friends, my non-Game Dev friends, mom, dad, sister, and cat. Cats are very important for games.
Yes.
That's what we've learned from streaming. You can't really have a stream without a cat coming in and bothering you. It's just wrong. Okay.
All right, that's it. We'll be back Tuesday. And we'll be back Sunday with some other game we'll have to figure out.
Yeah.
Maybe spookier, we'll see. It will be up to